And welcome back, everyone. Oh, am I lagging a little bit there? Maybe. I had to restart this video. Something happened and I had to restart it, but everything actually seems to be running a bit smoother now, which is good. I think I had to delete like I did see a little lag there, but apart from that, I think things are just adjusting at the moment. Regardless, coming us from Christopher Marion, I might be getting that wrong. We have the Bounts from Bleach versus the Dark Hunters from Bionicle. Now, hold on. Bounce, Bleach. Let's get this up here. Maybe this time it'll work. Oh, this time it's working dandy. And so the Bounce from Bleach, let's start with that real quick, because that's the one I have more knowledge on, were the main antagonist, I would even go so far as to say villains, from a filler arc in the series, in the anime. And in essence, what they are is they're the Bleach's version of vampires. All Bouts can consume the souls of other beings. Through the tribe's soul law instructed by Bounts to only consume souls of deceased humans, they can drain the souls from living humans to enhance their own power. However, consuming souls will always render about infertile. By the time Jin Karian put his plan to destroy Soul Society into motion, there was only one Bount left. However, basically this gives them empowerment to make them stronger, basically makes them functionally immortal. They also, like Quincy's, have reishi absorption, being able to absorb reishi in the air and use it to help recover their abilities as well, recover from like wounds. They are capable of, there is a limit to how much reishi they can absorb though. And like many other individuals in these series, they have things called crests, which are items that, the complex items acting as the sealed form of the Bounce dolls. Now, dolls are in essence like the Zanpakuto of Shinigami. They are sentient beings that are specific to the Bount question. They all have their own personal abilities, stigma or abilities, things they do, so forth and so on. Notable merit. So there are a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different Bounts. There is Kane, who, if I remember correctly, Kane is the guy with the. Tell me, nope. There's Kane, who was a young man, but he's not part of this. He died long ago, so he's past flashback kind of Bount. There's Ryu Utagawa, who let's see if you're a Bount that made it into the actual series here. Come on, load for me, please. There's Jin Kariya, who is the main leader. He's got stark white hair, scar on his cheek. He basically has a doll that allows him to manipulate wind and manipulate it very effectively. He is a master wind manipulation, to the point where he can actually even create electricity by using the friction of the wind to make to do static basically to create friction to create electricity. There's also Ryu Utagawa, who, as I said a minute ago, whose doll allows him whose doll is a snake, and in essence allows him to not just manipulate the snake. It's Fried is the name of the snake. A large golden snake with black stripes. It can also even morph itself into a whip or stand by the opponents. It can also morph into different offensive and defensive shapes and even turn things into snakes. It's actually a pretty cool doll, all things considered. Pretty cool weapon. Then there was, alright, if I remember correctly, which one of these? Sawatori, I want to say, is the guy with the headphones you see in the picture. His doll's name, I believe, is Dolk. Nope, sorry. Sawatori is the old man. Now, the old man's doll, I remember, it's a giant, stone fish that swims underground and swallows people. It literally just treats the ground dirt like water. So that's kind of cool. Then there's Yoshi. That's their name. Yoshi, who is a female member of the Bounts, with the green hair. Now, her doll I do not remember as well. She fought, if I remember correctly, Rukia and then gets taken out by Uryu. let's see. Her doll was Neater. It's a combination of a fan, or a giant and a fan are connected by extending chain and have separate personalities and genders. Neater has multiple functions and attacks. The fan can fire thick spikes, and the chain can withstand opponents, while both the giant and the fan are armored. Okay, so it's just a weapon. That's really all it is. It's not really all that impressive, to be honest. So yeah, it is what it is. Is it Go Koga who I'm thinking of, the guy with the headphones? It's been a long time since I watched the arc. It's really not that good of an arc. It's not the worst one I did. Yeah, he's the one with the headphones. His doll is Dolk. That's the one with Dolk. That's the one I very, very well remember, because we saw it a lot. And yeah, it is basically a giant metal death machine. Specifically, it kind of takes the form of like a humanoid spider, a humanoid top with spider legs on the bottom. But it's made entirely of metal, who is vocally sadistic and flirtatious all at once. And it can even form into like a weapon that he can use to fight with. It's a pretty powerful doll, to be sure. However, it's still, it's still not the strongest thing in the world. It did get kind of beaten down. Yoshishino Soma, who, if I remember correctly, is either the guy with the glasses in this picture that you see here, or the guy with the blonde hair. I want to say he's the guy with the blonde hair, but I could be dead wrong on that, and I probably am. But the guy with the blonde hair, I know, has like this doll that acts kind of like a parasitic bud that he uses to control people, if I remember correctly. So yeah, unfortunately, can't really find the rest of them at this time. But still, it's a pretty and yeah, my computer's lagging again for some reason. It's a pretty decent group. Now, there's only like at max 10 of them. And that poses a problem, because when you look at the Dark Hunters, there's a lot more of them. And the Dark Hunters have a lot more abilities under their belt. Now, the level of their abilities is debatable. Their leader, the Shrouded One, literally has the ability to just disintegrate things with his eyes, even something called Protosteel, which is very durable. But that doesn't mean everything in a world where, say, like, if they suddenly threw adamantium in the world, could he destroy adamantium? There's no evidence to say he could. While they certainly can destroy a durable metal, no doubt about it, can they destroy something that's basically indestructible? Or could someone with an ability to like use energy on their side of the fence block that? Someone like Jean, for example, who can use the wind as kind of a shield and fuse it with Ryatsu, could in theory block that. Absolutely. But then there's other individuals who, like, I believe it's like, was it the consumer or the corruptor or whatever, who like literally has the power to have dominion over others. There's one guy who can turn into sand. There's one guy who flies and fires webs. There's a whole list of characters on here that are very unique and capable. Really, it comes down to the amount of fighters they have and the abilities they have versus scaling and level of power. That's really, I think, what it comes down to. And in this case, I think, weirdly enough, it's the numbers and abilities versus the scaling that's going to win here. I think the Dark Hunters, besides the fact they outnumber the Bounts like 2-1. Oh, now I remember, one of the other dolls basically was like, took the form of a bottle cap and was made of water. Now I remember. But the Hunters all have very unique abilities, and many of them would be problematic. The Shadowed One alone's ability to just kind of disintegrate things with his I-beams alone would take out the majority of these characters. The only one who probably would be left standing is Karya, who, because of his wind and Ryatsu abilities, could actually probably fend off the attack. And then come in and probably kill that guy. Like, it'd be quick. If he can keep up with someone like Byakuya, who does move at light speeds, then it's certain that this guy could probably blitz the majority of these characters. But I have a feeling he would ultimately hit a wall, and there's too many of them with too many unique abilities, I think, for him to completely overcome. I do think he overcomes quite a few of them, particularly over the fact that he can kind of just attack from range, attack from distance. There are those, though, with many different abilities that could, in theory, counter it. For one, the turns in the stand, comes on counterattacks. Granted, he's got good enough reflexes and senses that he should be able to block it, but I have a feeling he'd end up being overwhelmed after a while. Even for someone as strong as him. And he is strong. He is a captain-level fighter, which puts him well into, like I said, not planetary, though the highest level captains certainly are there, but more in the realm of like city block easy. So regardless, I think because he also has limitations, just physical limitations, I think I probably would go with the Dark Hunters. I was actually leaning more towards the Bounts until I remembered that many of their dolls are, first off, they fight separately from their opponents, or from their users, which leaves the user vulnerable. And if a doll dies, well, then the Bount dies, and vice versa. So yeah, they're not the strongest group per se. They're dangerous, and against other groups, they could prove a problem. Like, I'd be interested to see how we compare the Bounce to, say, the Iran-Car. Granted, the Iran-Car overall are still probably much stronger, but someone like Karia, it was Karia, and the individual with Dalk, the Iron Doll, like, I'd be interested to see how those would kind of square off a little bit. Otherwise, though, yeah, weirdly enough, I would probably go with the Bionicles Dark Hunters on this. That said, I say that not knowing a huge amount about Bionicle and being a little rusty on my knowledge about the Bounce. So maybe something could happen that would change my mind on this. But as it stands, yeah, I would probably go with the Dark Hunters here. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll see you guys for the next one.